Good morning and thank you for watching. This is Mark Schultz. It is, come on brain, January 11th, 2022. This is day 5 of 100 of the fast. Right now I'm feeling great. And then again, I got up 2 hours ago, so nothing's really hit yet for today. I usually find when I'm fasting that the mornings are very easy. This is probably because I have been intermittent fasting at different times for several years, and I usually end up skipping breakfast because I don't feel hungry when I wake up. That's probably because the way I initially started intermittent fasting was to forego breakfast and in many times lunch and do OMAD with one meal a day around 4 p.m. Recent information that I've come across tells me that it would have been better to organize things the other way, where I was eating only a large breakfast daily and no lunch and dinner. But I don't know that I would have found that as easy or as doable, because I usually end up feeling hungry later in the day after I've burned through calories. I don't know if that's because of the way I started intermittent fasting, or if that is just the way the body is going to react as you use up calories during the day. I may actually, after the 100 days, do some experimentation to test that theory, but at this point I can only work with what I have personally experienced. So make of that what you will. I recently was looking back to see what have my liver numbers, specifically my ALT, which is a bunch of words that I can't pronounce, so I won't try. But ALT is the liver enzyme that is easiest to track as a measure of fatty liver disease. And it was the first thing that was brought to my attention when I started intermittent fasting, that it was elevated. It was in 2016. It was twice the recommended level. It actually went up from there. In 2017, the highest I think I saw was 153 with a recommended 9 to 47 range. It's varied since then, but it's never made it down to the normal range. It has improved vastly when I've been good at intermittent fasting and drinking less, and gone the other direction when I eat whatever I want, whenever I want, and drink and party like a fish. The impetus for creating this channel, doing this extended fast, was the fact that I have been fighting fatty liver for a very long time, and fasting, from everything I have found, everything I have read, is the quickest way of helping your body burn off fat within the organs. So the quickest way to cure this disease and give my body the time to heal the damage I've done to it over the years. As I've been afflicted with this disease for 20 years, I am not certain what the overall level of damage is. I know that I went from fatty liver to fatty liver and fatty pancreas and had noticeably bad liver numbers. Though reading other people's comments, I know that some other people have had far worse, and there is still the chance for improvement and healing. When I have completed this fast, I'm going to be asking my doctor to do either a sonogram or an MRI of my liver to see what, if any, level of scarring there is from the long period of time I have had fatty liver. Assuming that this, one, is able to continue, and two, that my numbers not only reach the normal range during this fast, but make it towards the lower end of that range. The blood work I did to begin this fast kind of was a shocker to me, because I did blood work at the beginning of December, and my ALT had improved from months earlier where it was in the 150s, I believe, and it had improved to just over 100. I was still kind of shocked that in a month of not drinking and doing some fasting, I had improved it to 67, so only 20 points over the recommended range before the fast even started. That said, there are still copious reasons for me to go through with the fast and to heal, give my body time to heal what damage there is, as that includes an extended period of a very restricted diet and no alcohol and other things that, although they can be sustained long term, I would like some flexibility in my life where those things are concerned. And I need to see improvement and know where I stand before I can determine what level of freedom and what level of restriction is required for long-term health. I do intend to start incorporating more physical workout and other activities as the fast progresses. And there will be much more trying times as this fast goes forward. I have a job where I travel a large amount. And when I have done extended fasts in the past, I have found that when traveling and when there is, say, a continental breakfast that is free to me, or a dinner that can be expensed, it is much harder for me to say no in those times, especially if I put myself in a restaurant with other people. So that is something I will be trying to avoid, though that will damage some of the social component of my work activities. I think that my teammates will understand, as they have seen most of the story behind this. They've seen me do different diets and different workout regimens and different things over the last 5 years. I think they will be enthusiastic proponents of me doing as well as I can. So we'll see how that goes at the end of this month, and then next month I get the pure joy of trying to maintain this while traveling on my own. And solo travel has its own pitfalls, as you're exposed to food a lot in travel, especially because airports have a large number of restaurants. You end up with a large amount of time with nothing to do. These are things that I try to avoid when fasting. I try to avoid being exposed to both the sounds, the smells, the environment where I would want to eat on a normal basis. So that will be a particularly interesting trial when we come to that. And we'll see how that goes when that happens. Um, I will be publicizing my blood work numbers for the last few years, specifically my hepatic numbers, my liver numbers, and after I have my 2-week appointment on the 20th with my doctor, I will add to that any numbers that he mentions might be useful to others. I will have the Google documents that have my daily blood work, my daily blood sugar and blood ketones up by the end of this coming weekend. There's some effort involved in that, but I think I can get it done. I am already tracking it, but it's much easier to track it on an internal spreadsheet than to create the format for sharing that information. But I will get that done and have links added to all the videos and to all the new videos. My weight as of this morning is 280.0 pounds, which means I'm down 12.4 pounds, I think, from the beginning of the fast, which is wonderful to see, though I do suspect at least 10 pounds of that is simply water weight, and the clearing of the digestive system, as there's no food going in. I'm also going to be working on creating a better tracking method for my daily liquid consumption, as it's been very haphazard to this point. I know that I wake up and have a cup of coffee or 2 or 3, and then have decaf, and then drink water and other things, but I would like to keep a record of when those times are, how much is consumed, so that I can track consumption throughout the day. That won't be perfect because I'm just not that good at record taking, but I should be able to at least put in what was consumed in each 4-hour period between the next blood work. I'm also kind of curious if there is some effect related to the sweetness in your mouth of brushing your teeth and changes in blood sugar, though normally that happens right after an early morning blood sugar and 3 hours before the 8 a.m. blood sugar. So I don't know that I would see any change in that. In that way, I might work on doing that at a later point, at some point, to get a better measure of if that has a measurable effect. So these are other things I'm working on. Obviously, I'm making this video in the morning, as I've been planning to do the videos in the morning, and I am more awake and more functional in the morning than I am right before bed, especially with my sleep schedule being altered to match this regimen. So we'll see how that progresses. But I think this might work better, and then tomorrow morning I can tell you how today went. As it is day 5, this will either be the last day of hard hunger pangs from my previous experience, or I may be through that and today will move very easily. I actually hope to avoid watching things on YouTube today because of my previous watching. A lot of food pops up in my recommendations, and that does not make it easier to fast. Exposing yourself to things that make your brain fixate on food or begin the pumping of your saliva glands will make you feel hunger more, and that's not ideal, at least at this point. I will, at later points during this fast, be doing some major cooking. I do a fundraiser yearly where I brine a bunch of corned beef briskets, cook them and prep them, and then turn them into Reubens as a fundraiser for different charities. And I have already committed to doing that for a friend and his cause this year. So that will be very interesting. Prepping 100 to 200 pounds of delicious food without eating any of it. Hopefully I can get some substantial help on the cooking side so that I don't just crash and burn. We'll jump off that bridge when we come to it. But as I know that my general watch time isn't terribly high, I'm not sure that many people are up for more than 16-minute videos. So I'm going to say thank you for being here. I'm Mark Schultz with the Fatty Liver Fix, and this is 5 Days Strong.